You say that somebody is not talking to you. That's what you say. It's only possible that somebody, all of us actually, are getting on with our lives. We are doing whatever action that we're doing. We're talking to somebody. We are cleaning our house. We are feeding the cats. Whatever it is that we're doing. I don't know why we're feeding the cats. No, I'm joking. Um, but is it really possible that somebody is not talking to you? Is that an action that somebody can take? Can you take an action of not talking to me just there where you are? Can you say, okay, now what I'm busy with is not talking to somebody? I don't see that as really being possible. So, you have an idea that somebody is not talking to me, and it's literally just a concept, an idea. I guess you could call somebody and they can, and that's all that happens. Maybe somebody does not answer, um, or just looks at the phone and continues whatever they were doing. That's absolutely possible. And but otherwise they are literally just getting on with their life, exactly as we said, people are just getting on with their lives and doing whatever it is they're doing, and you feel insulted by somebody just kind of getting on with their life, probably because of a lot of things, but also I guess ownership is a big subject when it comes to this, and maybe that's a topic for another day. But a lot of jealousy comes from ownership. If this phone is my phone, it can't just do its own thing somewhere. It's mine. I own it. So jealousy is actually part of ownership, and we seem to own each other sometimes out of duty, because you might say, no, this person is my family. We grew up together, therefore they have a duty to talk to me and to remain in contact with me. So that is part of the reason why we feel so entitled to people communicating with us and keeping in touch with us and finding out how we're doing. So we feel very entitled to that. And love is about freedom. So the owning of somebody is lacking freedom, or really owning somebody and understanding that this person has to do this because of a duty itself is really devout. I hope I'm saying it correctly, but that's not love. That is something completely different. It has nothing to do with love. So I think if we truly love each other, we have to allow that there's freedom. I mean, at some stage, even children will not no will be busy with their lives, and their parents will may find that hard. But it's part of love. It's part of you loving somebody, is wanting what is really good for that person, wanting what is best for that person. So allowing them to be. This is why their commitment to something like um, to a relationship, and that dependency on each other is corrupt. There's a lot of that's corrupt about it, and using each other. So anyway, when it comes to this communicating with each other, talking to each other, just as a day has a day and night, the a communication or a relationship or intimacy has both a time when we are talking to each other and a time when we're not talking to each other. This is just the ebb and no, it's not the ebb and flow, because that might mean something completely different, but it is that movement of a relationship, just like there's day and there's night. Sometimes we're talking to each other, and then sometimes we're busy with something else, and then we're busy with each other, and then we're busy with something else. The busy with each other is just as important as the busy with something else, you know. So if you were to look at it that way, that a relationship has both us being in each other's face and it's us not being in each, if that's the thing, right? I'm just busy with something else. So the 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 lack, let me say, or the void is part of the repairing of a relationship, because it is part of the relationship. So a lot of times, people who live, let's say, in very close proximity will end up being so much in each other's faces that that itself will cause problems. Of course, there'll be other things that cause problems, which is like ownership and all the rest of it. But just the fact that we're living in such close proximity will cause problems. And then when we take a break, and then that's part of the repairing, and then we come back, and then we come like this, we kind of go away and we come back. That's what I mean. Even if you're with somebody here in the same house, and you sometimes you're busy with something else, and then sometimes you're sitting down and you're having communication. If you were just with each other all the time, that is just not sustainable. That just wouldn't happen. That just wouldn't be sustainable. There'd be all kinds of issues with just being each other's face all the time. So you have to understand and appreciate the times when we are apart, let me say, where I'm busy with something and you are busy with something. We have to appreciate those parts. But a lot of people are crying and they say, this person is not talking to me. Yes, when somebody's not talking to you, could be the biggest favor that somebody's doing for you. And I'm not saying that in a sarcastic way. I'm saying it because part of love is allowing each other the space. I mean, goodness sake, I feel like it's so clear in my head that the people we hurt the most are the people that we're very close with. Those are the people that we hurt. Those are the people that we're fighting with. So when you're not close with somebody, which I'm not close with, like the rest of the world, that itself is love. I'll make an example of of cars on the road, in a sense that these cars are in a relationship. They are. I mean, because they're sharing the same road. But the best part, the way that I appreciate it is when we are kind of together, but not in each other. So once we are crashing into each other, that's a negative relationship. So what I want is a very functional distance from you. That's what I really want, and that's a favor. So it's really quite great. It's really to be appreciated. you know, the beautiful silence and distance. And many people know this in a way that they really love many people say, I love my own space, whatever. That's what people say. I love my own space. So people understand the benefit of silence and quietness. But sometimes they have this deep sense of loneliness that comes from just a deep sense of loneliness, that they feel so separated from the world, and that deep sense of loneliness is then something that they will then say, okay, this belongs to that person because that person is not talking to me. So they name that deep. They just don't stay with the sense of loneliness. Okay, I feel something is happening in my body, and it's what is happening to me. But instead I'll say, no, it's this person because that person is not talking to me. I want to blame that person for me feeling lonely. My child left, and I was so used to always being with them, and now I'm not with them, and so this is what that feeling is. But actually, at the bottom of it, it's just a feeling of loneliness. It's not really a feeling of loneliness. My child left, and therefore I am feeling lonely. It's just a sense of loneliness. And yes, of course, we create loneliness. We set up loneliness by having these highly attached, dependent relationships, and therefore we are setting up ourselves for loneliness. And the relationships that are toxic and that are abusive, and where we give and we use each other. And so then once we set that kind of relationship up, and then that relationship ends, there's a big sense of rejection and loneliness. And and that's part of what we have set up. And so we spend our days setting these relationships up, and we won't listen to it if somebody says, well, are you sure that you want to really set yourself up like this? People say, yeah, I'm having so much fun. And those times of fun are great, and then there's times of loneliness, and some people will not allow themselves to be lonely. They don't, because they don't know what loneliness, how to really deal with loneliness. Loneliness can kill them. So it's a very serious topic and subject matter, because loneliness can kill them. They don't know, because they don't know what loneliness is. They've never experienced loneliness in the sense that they've always made sure there was somebody around. So if you've never experienced loneliness, because you've always masked it with some activity or somebody you've always made sure there's somebody around. Like, you have another child, you just refused quietness around you. So when one day this quietness comes and you have nothing else but silence, you don't know how to deal with it. And it can break you. And it does. If all the time people are broken by the sense of loneliness, of silence, and there's nothing. And because they are so used to a relationship with somebody that is consistent. And people have like 100 people that they are consistently talking to. I finished talking to this person, especially in our current era of WhatsApps and social media. We're always in communication with somebody, and so we're always checking our phones to see who's thinking about me, who's talking to me. So then if no one is, maybe you'll put a status up, and so it kind of goes on and on and on. You always be entertained. You never really sit in that quietness. And so when you are faced with that quietness, my goodness, it can be something lethal. As I said, it can be something lethal. Can you imagine, just finding yourself one day alone, truly alone, with nothing, with no one to call, no one to talk to you. You've never experienced that before, and so you are broken, and so some people turn to all kinds. I mean, we do turn to all kinds of things, alcohol, drugs, just to try and resolve that loneliness that's within. So maybe what I'm saying is, next time when you are thinking that what I'm feeling is due to somebody not talking to you, maybe you just need to um, face and feel the loneliness, and actually not blame somebody for your loneliness. And next time when you, because you're literally blaming somebody for you feeling lonely, and you actually are assigning and depending on somebody for you to feel, for you to feel, I don't know, okay, to feel settled and feel that I have some kind of purpose apparently in my life. So I need to have this noise, and I need to have somebody thinking about me, talking to me. It's just the way that we're used to living now. Now I think more than ever, because as I said, there's all kinds of outlets and platforms to house our deep sense of loneliness, and to fight our deep sense of loneliness, which is deep within, and is there, and is a part of a reaction, and it's part of a flow in and out of your human experience. So